Alright, welcome back to a new video, and today I thought I'd tell you everything I know about the Sony CFD 545. This deck was, well, if you pay attention to the channel, you'll know it was my first real boombox. My first boombox I ever got was the CFS 1000, and I was scammed on it. It was a single deck. This was my first real deck. And it was because my friend had a CD cassette combo, and I wanted to get my hands on one, but I wanted to get a double deck too, so I wondered, did they make double deck CDs, combo units? And these came up here and there. I almost bought a Samsung one that was super rare. I didn't, but it was for all parts. Nothing worked on it. It had like 2 tapes in it, and then I guess it got reposted later though for like $2,000, and the speaker mount wound up breaking on it, and it's still all broken. So maybe I should have jumped on that eventually, because now I repair them, but still. I stand by this. At the time when I was buying these, it's about, I think I paid $110 after shipping for it with the remote. They usually were going for $130 with a bad tape deck or a bad CD, or both. The 545, I didn't want to get as badly as the others. It was probably like the least nice one out of the bunch. So the models that this came out after, this was designed based off the, like, CFD 510 and 520, like, upwards. So that version, though, was a single cassette in the middle, and the CD pretty much the same otherwise, though. And those came out, and they wound up being pretty popular and stuff. And then the 540 came out, which was the first double-deck version. And technically in the late 80s, I think it was 88, Sony did make their 460, and I think it was 445, 450, which was the double-deck CD and the single-deck CD. But this was the first of the design off the 510 line, which was more 90s. This is from 1996, to be exact, and pretty good for its time, actually, considering the 90s is when stuff got kind of crappy. But this unit, came out after the 540, which was the first double-deck CD version of this design type they did. And then after this, there was the 550, the 555, the 560, and the 565, upwards of over the 600s and the 700 lines. The 550 had an extra equalizer knob, if I remember correctly, and it was a 555 that had slide equalizers instead of the knobs. And then it was like the 555 to 565 had more equalizers. Each model got an extra band in the equalizers. And the cassette deck stats were in the CD models. So the CD drive was the same as the 555, which ran off a KSM 213 BAN and a which was a CD mechanism. The laser was a KSS 213B. And then the cassette mechanism was brand new for its time. And it had the model number was an MF-D555W. So it was not the best. These things are notorious once more. Like every of those models, they all get the laser readers that tend to burn out and the belts chucking because they had cheap belts that would snap. And when I got mine, it was well packed. It arrived early, and it came with batteries in the remote. There was a little corrosion, but it wasn't from those batteries. They were fresh batteries. They were like Duracells too, so it was a good deal. And I used this thing. I still use it today. And the remote does work. It's not plugged in right now because it's usually in my closet, but I pulled it out for the video. And I did do the belts on this a few months ago now because it chucked one of the drive belts. So I had to I did a belt swap on it. I'm expecting the laser reader to go out someday, like I expected for the belts. And it does work good. When I actually bought this, I thought it had dual recording, because I was trying to find a deck with both decks that record, because they did exist, but they're kind of rare. Not on the Sony models like this, though. It was more the decks like Pioneers. And I thought that high-speed dubbing button was a record button at the time, so I bought it. And I found out it was dubbing later on, but like a few weeks after I got it. But, I didn't really care for dubbing because it's just harder on the motor. And it's pretty good, though. It's actually held up in a vehicle. I actually used it once using the headphone jack. And it gets really nice, the mega bass, and it gets really loud for its time. And it's a really good deck. I do like this design. I kind of like the 565's CD door more, but I like these earlier speakers. And it's got a very standard Sony drive, pretty much like the same design as like the S350s and stuff from later on. And it has some dust on it and stuff. The antenna screw was the only issue when I got it. It was kind of loose, but I just tightened it. It's got an ISS switch on it, 1 and 2. And then it's got nice speakers set up. It's got optional battery, which works, no corrosion there. And it's always proved really good for me. And there was some like paint on the speaker and stuff, but there's no dents in the mesh, and it's always proven good. And it's really awesome for what it is. I mean, I've kept good care of it over the years, and it's been awesome with making mixtapes overall. I've used it so much that I actually cleaned the erase head the other day, and my finger was kind of black from all the tape particles because I've just used it so much. And the radio works good, even the FM stereo light and all that. And so I thought I'd share info on that. It's a pretty good unit. And then, I don't know if I'll be recording it, but I am working currently on my Sony Discman D171, which has a worn-out laser. It kind of reads discs. If you hold it like this, like if you held it like upwards, it would start to read a disc, but it would not read the first few tracks with ease. You'd have to skip farther in. And the infrared on the laser was kind of weak-looking. It was dirty. And I had to replace the actual spindle because it had a 2-piece spindle that was falling apart. Now I'm thinking of doing some motor swaps because I have motors that are better. These are worn out. And I want to get a little farther into cleaning the laser itself, like the actual reflective mirror. Maybe use this gear off a Bose CD changer that I parted out because it's the same type. It's just a different... And same with another Bose CD changer motor, because it might work better than the ones it has. And so I might record that in an upcoming video, I have no idea. But it's definitely something worth the rebuild. I found out the laser reader for this model actually goes up for $80. When I got this thing for free, it was worth about $30 usually. And now they're worth about like over $100. So it's definitely worth the rebuilding. And it's a fun little unit, but I don't like it too much. I don't like the AVLS, and the Mega Bass is kind of weak. But it's still a cool little unit, and it'd be nice to get it going again. And then obviously my cassette deck's been going good. I've been running that for a while. It's pretty much like it was before. Sometimes has that spindle issue where it spins the tape the other way a bit, but it doesn't do it as badly now, and it's working pretty good. So yeah, pretty much that's all for the video. I just thought I'd show you history on the 545, and I guess I'll see you in the next one. Bye.